this is yet another moment where we started building the Pocketnow Daily Script, only to realize that my opinion on a topic is just too complicated to simply report the news. I think the biggest problem with Apple events lately is that expectations are the thief of joy. And yeah, I know that's actually a spin-off from a phrase from Theodore Roosevelt, and it focuses on how our reaction to an event depends mainly on what we thought we were going to hear. Yes, leakers up until this morning made this event all about new Macs and hardware, and I clarified timing because the entire narrative started to change earlier today. So no, we didn't get any new products, but in Apple's defense, a part of me wasn't expecting it. WWDC has historically been mostly a software-only event, and today was jam-packed, and guys, we're going through a chip shortage. I mean, I think it's hard for any company to give us new hardware right now. That said, my expectations were based not on new stuff, but really on what old products made today's event seem like. Apple gave us a lot of indications that today certain products were going to start to make sense, and well, they kind of sort of do, but not really. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and let's split this video into everything that was good about WWDC 2021 and everything that was bad. Let's start with the good. I actually think there were a lot of nice updates at this event, and it starts with iOS 15. We had three main pillars, which were staying connected, finding focus, and using intelligence, with the first being mainly about FaceTime and iMessage. The idea of getting spatial audio and portrait video is all designed to make FaceTime feel more natural, and SharePlay is a pretty cool way to interact and share application experiences with friends. The major news is to actually see FaceTime work on services like Android and Windows through the browser, and it's jumped to compete with services like Zoom through FaceTime links. Sadly, no, iMessage won't work on Android or the browser just yet, and I can't say that it got much other than a functionality update instead of the major overhaul that was being rumored. Shared with You is a pretty neat way to have links people share with you compete with applications like Pocket Photos, which will now be visible on your photo library as a folder, which is a bad idea for stalker partners. And actually, this shared with me mentality extends to a ton of other services. What I care about most is finding focus. This was that rumored profile setup where you can tailor notifications based on what you're doing, like only getting work notifications when you're at work or personal ones when you're at home. I'd say it makes Do Not Disturb evolve into what it should have always been from day one. Now, using intelligence is then mostly about AR. It lets you extract text from photos, like Google Lens has been able to for ages. You get richer results on Spotlight and photo memories, again, like Google Photos. And sorry, Apple, it just has to be said. Exploring the world is all about other services like porting digital keys and even your ID to wallet. Weather is finally getting a visual overhaul, and Maps is going a bit more 3D. I mean, it looks better than Google Maps, but I still don't trust it more than Google's service. Overall, iOS 15 is a neat update with a ton of finally moments, but nothing that I'd call major. Now, what's impressive is that even a 6-year-old iPhone 6s is supported. Seriously, Android OEMs, just like I called out Apple right now, I give honor where honor is due. Nothing is more of a slap in the face than old phones getting support. And yes, you noticed that there was no AirPods hardware. Actually, it's more of an update to your existing ones, like your ability to focus better on calls by either reducing ambient noise or extending it if needed. Siri can now read out context-based notifications. Spatial audio is now reaching tvOS and M1-powered Macs. And yes, today spatial audio reaches Apple Music. For me, the cool part is this new Find My update that makes AirPods now chirp in case you can't find them. You get visual cues of their location on the application, and your iPhone will now give you a notification when you're leaving them behind. A lot of us are guilty of that, as charged. Now, privacy was a major focus of the event, where Apple goes beyond just having applications respect your data. Now, it's even giving you tools to have email not use invisible pixels to track you. You now get a privacy dashboard that matches with Safari efforts. Heck, the fact that Siri now happens on device for basic tasks is a major step in the right direction. iCloud is still not fully free, but for the same money, privacy even extends to hide your email from spammers, and Private Relay ensures added layers of encryption. Even the new recovery tricks are welcomed. Other updates to Home were okay, but not really worth boring you. I'll just leave links on the separate articles on Pocketnow.com in the description. I just find it funny that mere updates and functionality are considered OS updates, but fine. I actually think this segues perfectly into where things started getting bad, and it begins with WatchOS 8. Like, the new workouts are welcomed, and Apple, by the way, welcomed to Garmin's in 2018 for added breathing functionality for sleep tracking, which, by the way, is still mediocre at best since it only tracks the time you set on the iPhone. I know it's ridiculous. And also, I don't see a major benefit in portraits for watch faces or GIFs. And then, sure, it's nice to have a famous name of an instructor in the roster for Fitness Plus, but there is such a lack of a planned approach to these workouts that I seriously need to make a separate video only on how classes called Strength with a Mirror provide zero structure, leaving more organized systems like Beachbody be far superior for the exact same money. Again, a topic for another video. Now, macOS Monterey was, in a word, okay. I get it that this update had to be some sort of a refinement from the major change that was Big Sur, just like Snow Leopard was to Leopard back in the day. That said, the whole universal control to use your same peripherals between your Mac and your iPad is just genius. It solves a major pain point most of us had, and even the new Safari design has been long awaited. And it's the same case for shortcuts being an improved or updated version of Automator. You can't deny that even AirPlay from your iPhone to the Mac is awesome. The problem is really that with the exception of universal control, the rest of the updates were long overdue and not really worthy of a new operating system in my opinion. Oh, and yeah, those FaceTime and Focus features from iOS are also making it here, which I also praise. Sadly, my biggest disappointment is iPadOS. Like, fine, widgets on the home screen is great, but like, why didn't we get this last year with the iPhone on such a larger canvas? That plus App Library is seriously a dated update at best. Then Quick Notes is great, but again, welcome to 2016 and screen off memos with the Galaxy Note 5. And listen, I'm not trying to bash Apple for the updates because some do solve pain points. Take multitasking, for example, which now finally addresses the idea of using the iPad as more of a computer, even if I feel that the shelf will get in the way of part of your work. My biggest problem really is the last premise of making this feel like a computer. You and I know an iPad is not, but Apple's advertising sells it as such, and with the launch of the M1 chip on the iPad Pro, what was Apple thinking we were going to expect at this event? Guys, studies have even shown that iPadOS, as it is, can't even use half the RAM these tablets bring, so why make that chip a major reason for the refresh months ago? You can't tell me it's Swift Playgrounds letting you compile and export applications directly, because no one said this was a Pro feature only. We go back to how I began this video, with expectations being the thief of joy. I could care less about macOS running on an iPad, but to have M1 macOS applications running on an iPad Pro would have completely changed the event. The idea of iPadOS 15 being able to run real Photoshop or real Final Cut Pro would have justified paying more money for a fully loaded iPad Pro versus a MacBook Air. But no, you continue to get this like Tesla Roadster that you can't drive beyond a self-imposed speed limit. So again, Apple, why advertise this as a powerful tablet that really doesn't do anything more than the least expensive iPad? It almost sounds like if this was a business decision and not really a way to make an iPad a more useful tool, as if Apple was looking for ways to manage the strain on the chip shortage for iPhones by diluting the spares of the M1 chips left for the iPad instead. I really wanted this to be the moment for the iPad to really go pro, but instead, you continue to get just an iPad. To conclude, again, there was a lot of good today, but I think there were a lot of missed opportunities. For example, to have an iPhone 12 Pro Max with such a large canvas and no split window multitasking is just ridiculous. But then to have an M1 iPad Pro that can't do more than the cheapest iPad is just illogical. To launch products this powerful that can't be used to their full potential because of a self-imposed limitation is precisely the reason why people don't update their iPads every year. It just does not make sense. So yeah, iOS 15 was nice. Privacy gets an A+ on my book. AirPod updates are great, same with Home, and macOS Monterey was okay. I just feel that a lot of what we received doesn't warrant major OS updates. You know, like the ones that the iPad should have received like, 2 generations ago. But anyways, that's just me. Let us know what you liked or did not like about today's WWDC announcements. Are you bummed that you didn't get any hardware? Chime in the comments, and while you're at it, follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow me on my personal handles to see me throw a tantrum every now and then for very valid reasons. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.